check as to whether this person, what happened prior to whatever that is happening, the case that the person is reporting happened prior to that. With this one, yes, I understand it was the police officers who reported this matter. However, we have two cases. We've got the case, the 98 case and the 252 case. So we couldn't do what the case 252 was, the case 98, the investigating officer of case 98 was doing, because it will seem as if now we are interfering with their cases. So hence we only dealt with case 252.
Let me ask a question that's related to one of the very questions I put to you. Had you been aware that there were text exchanges between Mr. Nku and someone that he referred to as boss, and who was saved on his device as Alpha, is it? Saved as Alpha. The content of which, that is the content of the text, the content of which was or appears to have been, the ultimate link is still going to be made, hopefully, and we were promised by the evidence leaders that that link will be made. But for argument's sake, let us assume that that link will be made. So had you been aware that there were exchanges of texts that appeared to follow up on this consignment of suspected drugs constantly, the texts even expressing concern in case that consignment were to be intercepted or, however else, not to be received by apparently them? And also, if you had been aware that Mr. Nku drove to Durban a day before the truck that carried this container drove up to Gauteng, which was the 7th of July, 2021, and that on the 8th of July, he drove up, and that was the same day that the truck also drove up to Gauteng. And then on the 9th, that's the day on which he, together with these two, the traffic officer and warrant officer Mohana, then followed the truck to Aeroton from Yellow Jerseys. Had you been aware of all those facts, would you still have made the recommendation that you made? In particular, the very first ones that appear with Nku involved, with someone he calls boss, texts that are concerned about, are we going to get delivery of this? It may be a mission impossible if this gets, was that about another one? The May delivery. Was that about the May delivery? Was that about? No. I'll leave out the concerns and mission impossible and so on, but I will retain everything else that I've suggested to you. Had you been aware of all of those things, would you still have taken this to be the mere actions of an informer? Or would you not have suspected that this is actually someone who is complicit in the delivery of this consignment, delivery and receipt of this consignment?
Yeah, Commissioner, with regard to Nku, yes, if we had that kind of information, we were going to look at this thing differently.
That's why I'm saying, had you heard?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We were going to, even maybe the kind of investigation was not going to be the way the investigation was. If we had that kind of information, unfortunately, we didn't have.
Okay. Just advise me, yes, I know you tried to get hold of the poison docket.
Yes.
You did not succeed. Just remind me again, how high did that request or inquiry about the docket, how high did it go on the IPID side? Who was the most senior on your side who tried to get hold of the docket after the meeting that you referred to had failed?
It was the NHI, the National Head of Investigation.
Okay, all right. Is that the highest you could have gone? Couldn't you have gone to, was it already General Libya then?
Yeah, it was General Libya, but the NHI was supposed to have escalated the matter to the Executive Director, of which I don't think the matter was ever escalated. Yeah.
So it was beyond you at that stage?
Yes.
Couldn't you have made the request to the head, your head, to escalate it to General Libya?
The matter was escalated to General Libya, but
It was
escalated to General Libya.
Within the Hawks, yeah.
Yes, but we did not get any positive feedback.
Okay. Did you get to, what did General Libya do? Do you know?
General Libya, I think he spoke to my supervisor, the one who drafted the letter to him.
No, I mean with subs, on the sub side, what did?
On the sub sides, it was General Libya.
Okay. Oh, I see. This is okay. At paragraph 24 of your statement, you say General Libya did not assist IPID with the request. Instead, he indicated that IPID must investigate without the copies of that docket.
Yes.
So he didn't
Yes.
engage subs on the matter.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Can I just ask, on the back of the discussion that you've just had with the chair, had you known certain things that have now come to light about Mr. Nku, whether you would have still proceeded the same way? Now, when Mr. Nku says to you that he's an informer, and the other police officers tell you that, this is Mashaba, Chief Mashaba tells you that that's his informer, you don't verify that.
No.
You've said that he told you that his handler is someone that has passed, but you do know subsystems, that they do have registered informants. I'm sure you have an idea that they don't necessarily work alone, so even if a general has passed on a handler, there may well be somebody. You didn't, and you don't check that to verify who this supposed source is.
No, well, we did not verify.
You did not do that?
No.
Is it because that's not what you do? You take things on face value. I think I'm trying to, like the chair, I'm trying to understand how you conduct your investigations, and whether, as I must say, it seems to me to have been the case with this, that you don't get, the IP doesn't get used to, as in this case, I suspect that's what happened with the complaint that came to you, to pursue meritless cases because there are agendas. People want to get to some point. You don't verify that kind of basic information. Is Nku indeed an informer? We have a way of checking with the SAPs. You don't do those kind of checks.
Commissioners, with Nku, because he mentioned somebody who already passed, and he was not telling us that he was a registered informer. We did not verify that kind of information. But on the day of this, he was saying now he's giving information to Chief Mashaba. So he was now the handler of Chief Mashaba.
Chief Mashaba was his handler now.
Yeah, he said now because of, he used to give information to that, the late general, now he's giving information to Mashaba.
So the reference then to that late general for purpose of your investigation should be relevant if it meant nothing, if it's someone that you used to share information with but it has no bearing on this, then it's irrelevant. You proceeded solely on the basis that he is an informer of Mashaba, of Chief Mashaba, who is his handler. That must be the basis on which you proceeded.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
This again raises the point on which Commissioner Khumalo was engaging you. He's an informer, informing about drugs, and what's he got to do? What's Mashaba got to do with drugs that he even has this informer who's assisting him about drugs? It just does not make sense. Do you want to comment?
Commissioner, I don't know the job description of Chief Mashaba, but from I can confirm, commissioners, that we also have cases where people from the traffic police working with the SAPS members, especially the Hawks, do some operation. I don't know their memorandum of understanding. I don't know whether they do have a memorandum of understanding when it comes to these kind of operations or not. I don't know.
Thank you.
Perhaps if you had asked the question, and you can answer any way you want, that where does Mashaba come into this, as in jurisdiction and his powers, you may well have come to a different conclusion about the decision to arrest him if you found he was acting out of jurisdiction and outside his powers. Do you have any view about that?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
And I thought just crossed my mind because when I was engaging you on how we would have acted had you known otherwise, I suddenly discarded the information relating to a May 2021 consignment. I should not have discarded that. That was actually crucial in terms of how you would have acted had you been aware of certain facts.
Oh.
Because what that does is to show, especially that May consignment, it actually shows the concern that these people had about receiving that consignment. And this Alpha is even saying, if anything goes wrong, then we are in trouble. Basically saying we must receive that consignment. And it's apparently two private individuals interacting. And that had nothing to do with Mr. The so-called informer, with Mr. Nku giving information to his handlers. He's actually talking to people who appear to be the people to receive the drugs. Do you see what I mean? So that tells you that one cannot, when it comes to the Aeroton past, that suddenly Nku is no longer concerned with receiving the drugs. If he was concerned with receiving the drugs with regard to the May consignment, it must be the case, or indications at least are that, even with regard to the Aeroton past, he still wanted to receive the drugs. But as I say, I'm posing my question in the context of how would you have acted had you been aware of all these facts? You've already commented. I'm not expecting a response.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'm just giving you the full picture.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Director, to be fair to you, this is not a question. I'm just bringing to your attention that Mr. Makgano's superior deposed to an affidavit much later probably, where he makes it clear that as a commander he was not aware of the operation since Mr. Makgana's duties are office bound, and that is in accordance with his performance enhancement plan. So his job is to be in the office and analyze statistics. He should not be opening containers outside of jurisdiction. Okay.
Director, just to be fair to you, I think through our own engagement, you did at least indicate that even without having the information that was relayed to you about the text, from your own interaction with Mr. Nku, you had some misgivings about him. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes. And I think the follow-up question would have been that in that case then, surely you should have treated whatever that he gives you, or at least the people that he feeds information to, perhaps with some element of caution, I suppose, to put it lightly.
Commissioner, it was difficult without having to hear the other side of the story, because if we had the copies of the docket, we were going to know as to what was the other people on the other docket are saying. So we only had one side of the story.
Yes, no, I accept that. My question is that if already the source of the information itself is questionable, then the sequence of that information itself should be treated with some level of caution as to how that information is handled going forward. At least from your side, to say, well, Mashaba is receiving this information from someone that I'm already, I want to use the word suspicious of, reservedly so. Surely that should trigger a bit of a red flag in going forward to say the very source that I spoke to, that fed the information to Mashaba, and then he relates to the rest of the guys. I'm saying that kind of information should, I would say, raise a red flag at the very beginning to say the very source of information is questionable.
Commissioner, it did, but the thing is, if the police, they don't want with a docket, it's like they were hiding something. So we don't know whether our suspicion by just interviewing this person alone, it was going to be enough. And honestly speaking, 70% of our complainants